Ah, yes. The sweet taste of success. How you doing, everybody?
Intact
What's going
Insurance app
on?
is your perfect.
Welcome to the party, pal. Oh, yes, stink bits save lives. Oh, indeed they do. We're here for the last hour of trading today. Nice to have you about here. It's 3 o'clock Eastern. We got an hour to go. And this market's going red again. Oh my gosh, we were up over 300 points in the last hour. Something happened. We're watching the market come back down. The Dow's only up 3 points, make that up 1 point. I think we're actually down 14 right now. S&P down 30, and the Nasdaq off 154. The Nasdaq really never truly participated in our run today. I don't think the Nasdaq was really interested in being part of the party today. The Nasdaq knows something that we've been talking about here. We did get into the green on Nasdaq. I will give you that. We got green definitely afternoon in the after 12 o'clock range, but by about 1:30, the party was over, and now we're off 1.4%. The Dow Jones right now is mixing about here, just down a little bit, but it has really come down. The high for the Dow Jones today was 29,608. We're at 29,193. That's a 400 point backing off here. That we had a real run going, but that couldn't hold it. Interesting. This is the chart right here. Let me show you this little ditty here. This is the 1 day chart for the Dow Jones Industrial today. That was this morning. And at 10 o'clock, we were here, and 11 o'clock, and 12 o'clock, and 1 o'clock. And now look at it. Zzz, down we go on the Dow. Interesting. I'm not calling for the market to do this kind of, crazy stunt of a move. I far prefer the market just kind of react, all right. Don't go too nuts. But what can I say? There's volatility built in here, and we've got a lot of it showing up, I guess, today. Thank you, all of you who are hitting the thumbs up button. Ricardo and Arturo, DQ, just a sampling here of the thumbs up people. Karim, Sell My House Fast and Upper Marvel. Thank you, guys. JR, number 33 from Wing Commander. Thank you, guys. Hey, I bought some more APE with some puts that sold just because I could. Boo. DQ, you recently said you were going to take on a new position. What did you go with? People are curious about. We're down now 23 on the Dow, 33 on S&P, 159 on Nasdaq. The Dow is down 0.09 of a percentage point. The S&P is down 0.93, 10 times as bad. The Nasdaq 1.5%, 17 times as bad. So, yeah, we've got some catching up to do here on the Dow Jones. We'll see if this works or not. Now, the oil market down again. The oil price is down $2.51 today. West Texas right now, $88.63. We were at 93 yesterday, on our way to 100, who knows what, and not happening. No, it's not. The speculators, the guys pushing the market, they wanted to go like crazy, but they ran out of bullets. Yeah, we're talking about a global recession here that's now beginning to form. The IMF, the International Monetary Fund, they're calling for an absolute worldwide recession over the next 2 years. And it's not going to be a 2-weeker. This is not an 8-second attention span correction, and then we're all back to fluffy, happy times. We're not going back to zero interest rate policies. We're not going back to quantitative easing of gargantuan proportions. That's not happening anymore. Those days are over. In your lifetime, you will now look back 20 years from now, and you'll go, I remember when the interest rates were, 1-2%. Mortgage rates were, depending on where you lived, were negative in Europe, 1% in various parts of the Western world. In Canada, they were 1.5 to 2.5%. In the U.S., they were like 2 to 3.5%. I remember those days. We haven't seen that in 20 years. You're not going back to that. I'm sorry, those days are over. That ship has sailed, and it's all over. I read something while I was in between shows there today that since the meltdown of 2008, 2009, the financial crisis, the last big one, the world has taken on additional debt. World governments, businesses, everything else. The debt load has increased globally by $50 trillion. That's how much more debt there is on the books now than back then. So if there's going to be a pullback in the economies and higher interest rates and higher inflation, it's going to make debt harder to pay. But I'll put it to you this way. Here's the odd thing. Again, this is my ancientness speaking, I suppose. I don't know. I remember when I was in my 20s, in my early 20s, we had runaway inflation, and we had high interest rates. Mortgages were 16%. 16%. I remember when you talk to a real estate professional who'd been around a while, and you try to factor how much would a mortgage cost on a house, and the professional would say to us, well, if it's a $375,000 house, and you're going to put down 20%, that's 75 grand. You got a mortgage for $300,000. At a 12% mortgage rate, ballpark, 12, 13%, it's 1% a month. So if it's a $300,000 mortgage on the house, $3 grand a month. If it's a $250,000 mortgage, $2,500 a month. Those are your payments. That's what it was. That was the normal back then. That was normal. Okay. Now, here's the thing to remember. Back in those days, this would be the late 70s, right until the mid 80s, good chunk of the mid 80s. The governments, of course, like now, were having to raise money because they were spending more than they were bringing in. But the attitude was, well, we'll spend more than we're bringing in because the money we're spending is going to senior citizens for their pensions. We're going to always guarantee that. We're going to make sure that the disabled of our society who will look after them. Veterans, always look after the veterans. And of course, we have defense, and we have R&D, and we have all the expenses of government, salaries and roads and blah, 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 blah. We're going to keep borrowing because in the end, our economy is going to grow. We're going to keep stimulating the economy to have it grow. We'll come up with new measures and ways to make it grow. But, the economies will change over time because mankind keeps coming up with new stuff. And the other thought was in the next 10, 20, 30 years, there'll be more people in our countries because of our birth rate, number one, declining, like our longer living, people living longer, so we don't die as often. We don't die as many people off as before. We're creating more human beings. And if we have an immigration policy, we're growing our population, which is growing our workforce. And that will add to the size of the economy and the amount of taxes coming in. All that sounds great. All that sounds fantastic. And you can argue one side or the other on all those topics and go, yeah, no, whatever. But that didn't solve our debt problem. And at the end of the day, there was something else that actually made our debts from the 80s, 70s, and 80s not become such a problem down the road. Any idea what it is? I remember when Ronald Reagan was president of the United States. And prior to Ronald Reagan, we had deficits of $60 billion. This is the US, $60 billion in the United States, $70 billion. And then Ronald Reagan came to town, and within 5 years, the deficits were $300 billion and more. They'd never been that high. They'd never, ever been that ridiculous. And people are wondering, how in the world are we going to pay this off? How's this going to happen? And it happened, it was a combination of things, but the one thing that did it, that surprised everyone later on, because it took years to figure it out, was inflation. Inflation actually paid off the debt. Now you're wondering, how can that be? What are you talking about? Well, when you were getting a 10% raise back in the day when there was 18% inflation, not maybe you guys were watching me, but your parents, back in the day, what would happen was you'd see people going from like 25,000 salary to $28,000 salary, or from 29,000 to 32,000. Well, when these bumps came in, what was happening was that the individual went into a higher tax bracket, and the brackets were much tighter back in the day, and we called it tax creep. So you were, instead of paying 22% tax, you're paying 24% tax because you got a raise that put you over the trigger point. And so you got a $2,500 raise, and you had to pay 2% more on all your income that you had made that prior year. And if your taxable income turned out to be, after all the deductions, $15,000, you'd pay $300 more in tax. Well, for one individual getting a $2,000 tax increase, or I mean a salary increase, paying $300 in tax, it's kind of in there, but it's not like in one shot. It's built into 52 weeks of time. It's $6 a week. And so it's just a little nip. It's like a little mosquito bite that it goes away after 5 minutes. You don't feel anymore. Well, this is year in and year out. For every year, you're getting 5%, 8%, 6%, 9%, depending. Got a bonus, and you got a promo, got a 12% raise, a 15% raise because you got more responsibilities. But the tax creep would keep coming in, and the inflation tax creep was the one that really made it work on two fronts. The first front was the taxes coming in from Americans and Canadians and Europeans working was rising. The actual amount of money coming in was rising. But the tax bill, the amount of money that was borrowed in 1974 at 14% interest, and in 1975 at 12% interest, 1976, and so on, the government bonds and the amount owing that the government had now is shrinking, because year after year after year after year of 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, 18% inflation, you're inflating the revenues every year by more money, but the debt you owe from 74 and 1984, that's only 60 cents on the dollar now. And by 1994, that's 1974 debt is like 35 cents on the dollar. By the time those 25-year bonds matured, and these bonds would mature at 25 to 1974, 1999, the 1975 debt matured in 2000. The debt in 76 matured in 2001. And let me tell you, when you would say to somebody on the street, hey, listen, what do you think about the fact that the government in today, 1975, the government of the day today, 1975, just issued loans that are repayable in the year 2000. What do you think about that? You're going to go, 2000? That's 25 years from now. That's way down in the line here. I could care less. 1983, that's 2008. Who thinks about 2008 in 1978 or 1983 or 1988? And on it went. And so the politicians of 1975, 76, 77, 78, who spent too much money for all the reasons they had to spend more money than they were bringing in, they then authorized the government to go borrow that money to balance the books. They didn't care about the fact that it had to be paid back in 1999 or 2006 or 2008, because they weren't going to be around. These people were 60 years old at that time. Do you notice that your senators in the United States happen to be, upwards of 85 years of age? Do you think they give a crap about the 25-year debt that the American government is issuing right now? They don't give a crap. They're not going to be around at 110. They're 85. And what do they got left? This is their kids' problem. And it's not their kids' problem, because they're leaving their kids with a lot of their dough that they've been able to amass as a congressperson or as a senator. No, it's all of you folks out there who are dumb enough to vote for these guys and keep bringing them back in. That's who the problem is. Those are the folks who have the problem, not these politicians. They're fine. It's great. In any event, look, inflation has a way of depreciating debt that you have locked in. Look at your parents and your grandparents. These stories are in your families, left, right, and center. You ask your parents, what was the first house they bought when they were newlyweds, or after 5 years of marriage, or by the time they had your first or second kid? You might have been the first kid, second kid. They'll tell you, oh yeah, we bought a house on so and so, cost us $65,000, and you're going, good God, the house down there now, a house in that region now, it's like $485,000 or $680,000. Well, yeah, inflation has risen up the values. So if you have a house that you bought 10 years ago, 15 years ago, people who have houses are 15 years on, since they bought them, they may have bought a house for $300,000 that is now to replace, the house in that area now is $650,000, but they have a mortgage of $40,000 left to go because they've got the last 5 years of payments left to go. The debt never rises with the time frame. Inflation protected is what mortgages are, and that is the name of the game to make money in real estate. The old adage is, take out a loan for as much as you can get now. Just keep paying that payment for, make it a 30-year, whatever, pay the payment, because in 15 years from now, that house is 30-40% more valuable. The mortgage against it is such a small fraction that with pay raises and being a hard worker that you are, you should be making more money, and that mortgage payment should be a joke to pay off. That's the adage. Well, government debt is exactly the same way. They issue the bonds today for the next 25, 30 years, or whatever the bonds are, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And by the time they are roll over, they have to roll them over, it's a fraction. So 25-year debt that comes up now, this is 2022, we're talking 25 years from 1997, we're talking 1997 debt that is now coming up and payable. 1997 debt might be $500 billion coming up on a 20-year note this Thursday. The government today needs $2 billion a week, $3 billion a week, $4 billion a week of new money. It needs more money. So this $500 million rollover is a joke. This is a nothing burger. That's the point. The money you're borrowing today in 25 years is a nothing burger, because in 25 years, adjusted for inflation, the government's going to need to borrow $40 billion every week to manage everything. 50 billion, 70 billion, 80 billion. So this 4, 5, 6, 8 billion we need this week, chump change. It's inflation reduction is what it is. It's just been shrunk down by inflation. And that's how the government got out of this hole that we had in the 70s and the 80s, when I, as a 21 to 28-year-old, was going, how in God's green earth are we going to pay off this debt when it comes due in 1999, 2000, 2001, 2, and 3? How's that going to happen? Had no idea that the inflation would actually make the debt that we had then seem like a nothing burger in 2021, 22. And there is your bond lesson for the day. We're down on the Dow right now. Let's take a look here. 9.5 points. We seem to have kind of gotten back to the zero line. I now see it's down 32. We're jumping around. We're down 34 in S&P. We're 164 points lower on Nasdaq as this market is taking a bit of a hit. We're down 289 on oil at $88.24. And there it is. There it is. What else is going on here? Folks are talking to each other, which is great, comparing notes, which is fantastic. The GameStop, the credit average is saying one GameStop covered call average has generated around $288 in 5 hours today, and I have not bought or sold any shares. I've kept all my shares. I'm selling dreams. How do you do this? Is that how you do this? Splair, fancy. My order is filled. 34 SoFi on eToro at 496, and I closed them today for 507. Now my Matterport order is next, 348. Deuce Caboose, SoFi is drunk again. Number 50. SoFi 495. It's down. Credit average, isn't our deficit around 30 trillion now? Yeah, but in 50 years, adjusted for inflation, the debt could be 120 trillion. So this 30 trillion is chump change. It's nothing. Amazing, isn't it? Mirko, Brian, the best thing Maybe tomorrow or on Friday. GameStop drops in the 24 range, and you can buy it back for 51 cents or so, and you made $1.25 in a couple days. Then you write a new one. Nick, I'm here at number 53. Thumbs up. Zach, drive my thumb. Number 57. See you all on the replay. Brian, Mirko, thanks for the advice. I was thinking of putting in a stink tomorrow for the day for like 60, 70 cents, and then getting about 50% after fees, which would be good for a couple days. Sell my house fast enough for Marlboro. Here's the deal, folks. The United States Congress operates exactly like the mafia. See? All parties, all members. There you go. Criminals, a lot of them. There you go. America, Brian, yeah, exactly. In the first few days, I always set stink bids around 50%. Every couple days, I raise 10%. Most time, I close between 60, 80%. If it jumps, there's always a rollover or more. Zed Estate, my dad's house was $58,000 in 1970. It would be worth $1.4 million today. I remember my dad buying his house in Waterloo, Ontario. The house was, I think, if I recall, the house was maybe $31,000, and he sold it for $88,000, which I couldn't believe it. $88,000, wow! I went like, wow, Dad. He sold it 13, 14 years later for $88,000. But he had put an addition on it. So, it's all relative. But that house today, $600,000. Yeah, at least $600,000. But then what they did do, my mom and dad, my mother had a dress shop, and they bought a building in downtown Waterloo, Ontario. King and Herb was on King Street and Herb Street. They bought this building in downtown Waterloo that had the basement, had the main retail floor, had a full second floor, and had a third floor, like a third floor. And they operated the basement for the business, the main floor for the business. The second floor was my parents' apartment. They built their own apartment on the second floor. And the front half of the building, like the front quarter of the building, that was made into a small little retail office, and I think a household finance outfit rented that for a while. So they were landlords to those guys. And on the third floor, they had an apartment up there that was frequented by a handyman, a single guy in his late 50s and 60s who worked and partially retired, and he swept the sidewalk in front of the store every day and took the snow off whenever it snowed. And my dad would hire him to paint the outside of the building, just do little knick-knack stuff. The guy loved it. He would paint the hallways and the halls of the building, all kinds of little jobs. He loved doing this stuff. And my dad would give him a break on the rent, and they got along famously. My parents bought that building for, if I recall, about $115,000 when my parents sold their house for $88,000. And they then put $110,000 into the building to build their dream apartment and to build out the store. And the building, they ran it then for a good 5 or 6 years. And then they rented, when my mother closed her store, they rented the main floor and the basement for $4,000 a month for a bicycle store or a jean store, jeans, selling blue jeans and clothing store right in the downtown core. They got $4,000 a month rent. They were renting the office upstairs, and they still had the handy guy upstairs. And my parents lived in the unit for a while, and then they left the building when they got an offer to sell it. And they got an offer from a lawyer who wanted to buy the building as an investment, and he was going to rent out the second floor, the apartment that my mom and dad had built for themselves, and the rest of the building. And he bought it from them for $500,000. So they took their $220,000 building, and 7-8 years later, $500,000. That's how my mom and dad got to retire, because they made the profit on this building after selling their house and mortgaging everything they had to make this building work. It's a fascinating turn of events over years. And in the middle of all that, my dad had to have a quadruple bypass for his heart condition, which was successful. And they ended up moving to Ontario, to Downsview, Ontario, a suburb of Toronto. And they bought a condo there for, I think it was $108,000, and they sold it for $250,000 3 years later. They caught the real estate wave twice, and all the profits made on the building and this condo, they retired on that money, and that's how they ended up in BC. And it's an amazing tale. The businesses they ran, my dad's music store, my mother's dress shop, carried the house, carried the family, carried me and my sisters, and then carried them every year. And they were able to throw whatever money those businesses spun off into the building to pay down the mortgages and eventually. But it was real estate that ultimately made it work. And then my father became an investor in mutual funds. And he would call his son up for advice. What about this mutual fund? What about that one? And I'm giving my dad investment advice in the 1990s, because at that time, mutual funds were all the rage. They were really popular. And he was looking for income and interest income, dividend income, and some capital gains. So he had a nice mix of funds that he was living off of, and he was watching them very closely, and he did all right. Anyway, yeah, 58,000, now 1.4 million. Isn't that crazy? Untamed Viking, a new member. How you doing? Welcome to the party, pal. Thank you for joining in. Untamed member, we got a gold bagel level member here. Brand new Goldie. Thank you for becoming a Gold Bagel member. I think you're going to enjoy it. I'm not sure if you're returning or you're a new member, but I'm glad you're here. And thank you for joining this group of people. I love having you. Our agent per governments always inflate their way out of debt. Credit Savage, we moved from our gold standard and now we're at the debt standard. And so it explains explains a lot. We bought a house for $600,016 and it is not 1.2 million. That's insane. Or it's now 1.2 million, and that is insane. Also, thank you to Mr. T mentioning that he's been a member for 19 months, and today he's thumbs up number 65. Thank you so much, Mr. T, for being here and being a follower of this channel for that length of time. That is beautiful stuff. You are not alone, that's for sure. Thank you, Geody. Welcome, Untamed Viking. And Bruce, I've been gone a long time. Are your thoughts still the same on Spire, SPIR? Yep, still love the company, still love it. And ATIP, yep, all 8 SPACs that I recommended that used to be SPACs, still love them. Bill, hi Bruce, nice to see you here again. Zed, Uncle Bruce, 8 GameStop contracts sold with a $27 strike for 65 cents. This I have a stink bid in to buy them at 25 cents. Then will it hit? I'd be putting in a stink bid at 26. I wouldn't join the group at 25. Get 1 penny higher and buy them back at 26. You'll be first in line. You might be 10th in line to get them at a quarter. Be first in line at 26. Michael, good for them. Coyote, I can't imagine that kind of money. Wow, that is quite the story. I am returning. Welcome back, Untamed Viking. This is great. Credit Savage. What's up, Viking? Welcome. Adam, first comment as Gold Bagel member as well. Hey, from been busy all last week. Welcome, Adam. Mirko, welcome, Adam. And Splair, thanks for sharing this interesting story, Uncle B. Adam, excited to get going. Thanks, Mirko. The Credit Savage. Hey, Uncle B, for those of us who are coming close to the 2-year mark of following you, can we get a cookie? Brian, welcome, Untamed Viking. The fun is on the daily, whether green or red. We're making money no matter what. Brian, the Credit Savage of Wall Street, I am sure you can buy some arrows with your $288 today. How about that? Welcome, one and all, to the show. Great to have you here. It's wonderful to see new members joining up. We have 31 minutes to go in our day today. We're down 42 on the Dow, nothing earth-shattering, but Amazon is off 193. Tesla's down 750 to 215. Did anyone take my advice today and buy back their 240s and 230s and write some 225s, or they, whatever? Did any of you guys do that? I hope you did. Apple 138.68 down 174. GameStop 25.02 up 2 pennies, but only up 2 pennies. It had shot up to 26.30 and it's given it all back at this point. SoFi 495 and a half down 1.5. HBQ down 1/4. Rocket Lab down 12.5. The AMC Ape story down 35 cents again. We're now at $8.87 combined value for the preferred and the common. ME down 4.5. Matterport down 3.5. ATIP down 2. SmartRent down 13. Spire down a nickel. Sextera is off. I'm not sure if we're off at all. We might be unchanged in Sextera. Down 3 on the Dow, down 30 on S&P, down 152 on Nasdaq, and we're almost down $3 on a barrel of crude. 88.18. Down goes the oil price again today. Interesting how this is working. Amazing. All right. Thank you all for your support of this channel. Appreciate it very much. We're going to go member only comment now. Thank you, members, and thank you, new members. Thank you, recurring members. Great to have you all here. Very appreciated. Good group, good family here to hang out with. And we are trying to make money in this market, writing call options, absolutely scoring on these gifts that these gamblers are handing our way. All right. Thank you, guys. What else is going on here? Let's go. Agent per some UK central banker caused the afternoon thud, gave funds a 3-day warning. DQ just bought back mRNA 125s. Right on, sir. They must have come off for you, and I guess you're going to get ready to write some more here. Where are we at here? MNR, where are we? There it is, 120.02. Yes, sir. Now you can take a look at writing 120s, 122s. Absolutely. Credit average. I know that, guys, but I hate paying retail if I can get stuff for free or for points. Spare a cookie delivered from the local Subway to all the 2-year members. Now, that would be funny, but I think that'll be a topic at 5 years. Michael, Credit average of Wall Street. I'm still waiting on my mug. Wayne Commander, Uncle Bruce, shouldn't we all get a bagel with sesame seeds, toasted perfection? You know, if you guys had shown up last year for my meet and greet in Ontario, you would have gone home with, I believe, six bagels, because we were giving bagels away at that meet and greet to some very happy viewers, among a number of other things, including some soap from the Flint Creek Soap Company, some nice samples that were being handed out. I've been drinking coffee in my Uncle Bruce mug for a year. It's delicious. Hit the gas too hard. Where you were right about GameStop. Oh my God. JR, nice dip to see my calls gain value. Nice. Alberto, Uncle, I was going to roll my Teslas, but not enough profit as of yet. Hopefully by tomorrow. LL, number 87. BZ, Ontario is nowhere near New Jersey, Bruce. Actually, it's not that far away. New Jersey, a little south of Ontario. It's not that far away. 1-day drive, easy through the border, not a problem. Anyway, we're down 41 on the Dow. And we got GameStop up 9 cents now at 25.09. And watching a lot of activity here. Brian, Alberto, when you roll, let's you say your cover calls expire this week. You don't try to write the next one for like 2 or 3 weeks out for the premium at the money, I'm assuming. DQ, Moderna 120 stink ask order submitted. Right on, sir. Stink offer is out there. Wayne Commander, California is nowhere near Munich, Uncle Bruce. I guess you're right. Credit Savage of Wall Street. Brian, yes, your premium is time. That is true. Cheers, everybody, from your buddy Uncle Bruce here in Calgary. Nowhere near Zermatt, but in my heart, I'm right there right now. Cheers, everybody. Oh yeah, Nick, I have shorted and covered Coin, BIIB, Tesla, Amazon, Carvana, and as usual, buying all my long losers to average down. Total profit today, 41,659. Nick, just keep making money. Love it. Amazon down 189 to 111.78. We got as high today on Amazon as 115.48, but nowhere near that 120 mark from last week. Tesla 216.08 down 689. Apple down 151 to 138.92. GameStop at 25.15 up 15. SoFi 4.95 down 2 cents on the day. All righty. Spicy Android. Hey, Bruce, what do you think about me writing options that expire every Friday? And on purpose, I get taken out and then I do it again the week after. Like I purposely get taken out with the premium. If you can write a call that has a nice premium on it, let's say you write an at the money call with a nice premium on it, and you get taken out between now and the end of the run, fair enough. But I got to tell you, you got to look at it this way. Let's say you write an at the money call, and you get $1.50 for it. Let's say it's got 4 days to go. On the last day, it is worth a dime book value. It's just in the money. Okay, you could probably buy that call back for 10, 20, probably 20 cents. You might have been able to buy that call back on Thursday, the day before, at 20 to 25 cents. And you could have written on Thursday, the next week, Friday call, and added another day of depreciation to your ledger, which might have given you 25 more cents than just that 10 cents at the end. On the other hand, I understand if you're writing an in-the-money call, let's say GameStop is trading 25.18, you write a $24 call for Friday. You're hoping to get exercised, or you're prepared to be exercised. You're saying to yourself, you know what? If you take me out, I don't have a problem with that. Oh, okay. Well, the reality is, though, that this Friday's call, the 14th, the 24, is 147 to 190. If you could get 175 for a 24, that's 25.75. So you're getting 25.75 total for a $24 call if you get exercise. The stock's at 25.15. You made 60 cents. You're doing that on 10 calls at $600. On the other hand, though, if the shares are 25.15 on Friday, the calls are only worth $1.15. You sold them for 175. You're going to buy back for 120, 125, and you're going to make your 50 cents profit. So you don't have to go through the whole thing of getting taken out and just walking that way. Now, on the other hand, let's take a look at October 21. You want to write 24s for the next week. You can probably get as much as 210, maybe 220 for those. Well, that's 26.20. So you can take the 220 now in your hand, and you're offering your stock for $24 a share. If they get taken out, they get taken out. If they don't, they don't. But again, I'll say this: if the shares are $24.50 next Friday, you can buy those things back for 60, 65 cents and keep the change. He's got 220 for them. You're walking away with 155 a contract times 1 or 10 or 20, whatever. You win either way. But it's up to you if you want to do that. JR, Nick, yes. Alberto, Brian, 2 to 3 weeks out of the money. I don't write in the money unless my shares are close to market value. DQ, Moderna, stink is been filled, Bruce. I've written them again. Brian, thanks. Credit Savage of Wall Street and Alberto. Nick, I know I'm going to have to pay big tax bill this year. Hence, I need to work even harder to give it to the IRS. You know what, Nick? Just make $1 million in this market. Just go ahead. Go ahead. Make $2 million. They'll take their whatever it is, 15% over a certain amount of money. Give it to them. So what? It's okay. Keep making the money. Working hard on my arm folding technique today, says JR. Credit Savage. Nick is going to pay for our next meet and greet in Applebee's open bar and everything. JR, beers on Nick. Nick, sure, credit, drinks on me. JR, Yahoo. Credit Savage. It's in writing, Nick. I'm going to get drunk. Wing Commander, count me in on this. I promise not to trash your room at your hotel, Nick. Nick, only thing you guys pay, you got to pay your own food. Wing Commander, hangover 2023 style. Nick, the Credit Savage, fair enough. Nick is saying, yeah, but we're not doing a meet and greet at my hotel. No. Wing Commander, beer counts as food. Bread in Bavaria. I guess I'm going to stick with the other stuff. Wing Commander, who knows, Nick? Palm Springs is not that far away. You know, Mirko, Uncle Bruce just bought 100. I just bought 100 Tesla at $215.39. Sold a covered call, $217.5 for this Friday for $589. Come and get me. Take me out. That's a wonderful trade. That is taking almost $223 for a $215 purchase for Friday. That's not bad. Dave the Mac Guy, maximize tax advantage counts first. There you go, everybody. The Dow has turned around a bit with a climb. We got 21 minutes to go. It's up 43 points. A little attempt at a rally. We're down 22 on S&P and we're down 126 on Nasdaq. That is what's happening there. Amazon down 160, Tesla at 216.33, down 663, Apple down 127 to 139.15, GameStop up 32 cents to 25.32. SoFi is down half a penny, 496 and a half. We're down half a penny on SoFi. Volume today for SoFi, 33 million shares. Volume today on GameStop, 3.4 million. That's 850,000 pre-split right there. Quiet day. HPQ down 15 to 24.84. A Rocket Lab down a dime. ME is down 2.5 cents. Matterport down 2.5. ATIP down 2.5. Pretty consistent. All three were lower today. ME hit a low today of 274. The all-time low is 212. Matterport hit a low today of $3.40, all-time low this morning at 10 o'clock. We're now 356. ATIP is at 101. The low today was 93.8, but the all-time low was 85.5 a little while ago. We've got Smart Rent at 234 right now. The low was 228, all-time low 219. Didn't hit that, but we're at 800,000 volume, and we're down 12.5 cents now on Smart Rent. Spire, $1.09 of a penny is where we're trading at here, down 5.1. Centino's, the low was 98.7 today. Spire's all-time low, 98.7. Set 15 minutes ago. We're now at $1 a share on Spire. I still like it. I still think the company's a winner. They're growing their base. They're growing their subscriptions. They're growing their contract numbers. It's the market that's got the problem, not the corporation. But unfortunately, the shares are not reflecting the reality of the company. What can I say? The market cap right now of Aspire, $139.9 million. I think they have more cash on hand than that. I think. I'm certain their asset value is definitely higher than that. And then there's their enterprise value and everything else. But this stock, ridiculously undervalued. But what am I going to say? Zed, Nick, looking forward to this. Boo, I just covered my WFC total profit, 151. I'll take it. Rock and roll. DQ, guess I should have waited to write the Moderna. Deep Value Investing, I'm a new member. I think Deep Value has come back in as a new member, and Deep Value is joining us as a Chillin' with Uncle Bruce member. Thank you, Deep Value. Appreciate this. Let's see here. DQ, welcome back, DVI. Deep Value, thank you. It's been a crazy 2022 for sure. Just insanity out there. Thank you guys for joining this channel and becoming part of this chat family. I love it. I'm glad you're here. All righty. Bed Bath Beyond is down 33 cents. Pfizer is up 15. Boeing down 82. Cisco down 38 to 39.52. Bargoon here. Home Depot up 17 cents. Carvana up 6. Robinhood down 21. Bannock is down 6.50 to 175.77. IBM is up 22 cents after being up to 119.23. We're at 117.91. A real pullback there. The reasoning, a lot of the reasoning here on this market is those who are paying attention to it get it. They're paying attention to the Bank of England attempting to calm the markets in Europe, mainly with regards to the pound. The British pound is under unbearable pressure, and the Bank of England is stepping in there to attempt to calm nerves. Today, the pound is at 109.87, and we had the pound over 111 today at one point, but it's now 109.87. Not looking good. The euro's at 97.12. And it looks like it also is going to go lower. This continued support from the Bank of England buying long-term UK bonds to give cash to pension funds is having the effect of drowning the market with a lot of British pounds. And that is giving pause for the value of the pound versus other currencies. And that's what's going on. If that makes sense to you, I hope it does. Never a dull moment. We're up 38 on the Dow with 16 minutes to go. We've got Tesla down 6.99 now, Apple down 156, GameStop at 25.22 to 25.25. Looks like we're up about a quarter. And the SoFi hanging in there at 496.5, trying to come back. We'll see if it can make it or not. Thank you all for joining us and hanging around with us. Oil down 272 to 88.41. We've dropped off now about say $5-6 a barrel in the last few days. $5-6 a barrel. Definitely coming back. Alberto, Mirko, nice work for you, buddy. Way to go. Mirko is making money and he's buying Tesla and writing Tesla calls right now. Way to go, man. Way to go. All right. This is the deal. This is the drill. Right buyback, right again. It's as simple as that. Make sure you're adding value to your account, adding cash every time you're doing rollovers on contracts. Let the gamblers compensate you for holding your stock. Let them pay for it. Alberto, I'm sitting on 230s, but the profits are only at 22%. Crossing my arms until I'm going to make 40-50% profit. I got you, Alberto. I hear you loud and clear there. I'm hoping, though, that the contracts you wrote were expensive and that these have a lot of dollars to be made. What I'm hoping is not the case here, because, again, I don't know the prices you dealt with, but I'm hoping your $230 contracts are not sitting at $2 and you're hoping to make it $160. I don't want you chasing pennies when the dollars are passing you by. That's what I wonder about. But and look, if you wrote these calls at $10, $12 and they're at $8, and you can look at getting them back at $4 or $5, great. That's okay too. We'll see how it works out, my friend. Exciting times in the option market game. 42-point gain on the Dow right now. Sold at $18 and buyback at 14. Right on. Sit tight, Alberto. You're doing fine. Just sit tight and let the contract shrink out because the stock is helping you, obviously, and time is your friend as well. Well done, sir. Well done. Let's go right here. There's the Tesla market, 215.85, down 7.11 today. And the low of the day is $215. So we're right at the lows here. Really interesting stuff. Right on. I love it a lot. Let's see what we got here. Just going to take a look at a few other little things here as I whip through my chains, checking option chains here. Absolutely. Let's see what we got here. Going through here, and checking out where we're at right now. Okay. All right. Right on. Just wondering what that is there. That's interesting. Okay. And then over here, let's see what we have here. Come on. Right. And then if we go to here, yes, interesting stuff there too. Right on. Okay. All right, kids. Good stuff. Okay, what do we got here? Nick, Uncle Bruce, I went long on Tesla, 1,000 shares at 217. Then I wrote an in-the-money Tesla October 14 call, a 200 call for 1756. I'm okay if it gets exercised. What do you think, Uncle B? All right, so you bought them at 217. And you wrote a call that dies this Friday, a 200, and you offered it at 1756, I see. All right, let me kind of go up here to check this out. All right. And they're right now 1735 to 1745, these 200s. And you don't mind getting taken out because you'll break even on it. The stock's at 216 now. Obviously, if the shares back off a little bit, you'll score a gain on the contract versus the loss on the stock. but you can always buy those calls back for cheap and then write new calls again for additional income. I gotcha. Alberto, Nick, damn, you are a gambler. I need to learn your method because it seems you are crushing the profits. Nick, I am making this risky move because if Musk has to sell the stock, it's going to drop. DQ, assuming you wrote 10 calls, Nick. Deep value investing. Fear is a powerful thing, but hope is stronger. Nick, yeah, I wrote 10 of them. So each one was written for 1,700 a piece. So you brought in 17 grand. But the cost of the stock, 1,000 shares at 207, that's 217 grand purchase. Alberta, oh wait, I misread your text. I like that move. Yeah, I mean, it's there's no premium on it though. That's the downside. This $200 call is basically at book value. Of course, if the shares want to give up some ground right now, you'll buy the calls back for less money, but you're not going to make more money on the call to drop than the drop on the stock because you didn't get a premium. You didn't sell them at $27. You sold them at 17. Had you gone a week or two further ahead, you might have been able to get $5, $6, $7 premium on top of the 17. And that would be a profit for your time if this is going to take a week or two. But hey, I get it. I mean, look, if the shares reach 210 and you buy these back at $12, you score $5,000, $5 a contract. You score $5,000 on 10 contracts. You could then at that time turn around and write for the next week out, perhaps a 200 or something like that, and bring in more money. You could play that game. I mean, it's totally up to you, obviously. If the shares drop to 190, however, you'll have dropped $27 in value on your stock, but you've only received the premium value on your contract. And if you buy them back at $3, you've scored $14 gain on the contract, but you may have lost 27 on the stock, and you had no premium that was going to pay you for that additional. But still, I hear what you're doing. Deep value. If I had learned options sooner, my life would have moved a lot quicker. Thank you, Bruce. It's better late than never. I wish I had listened to you sooner. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Nick, Tesla jumps back right in 2 to 3 days, so that's possible. Alberta, wait, Uncle. So if Nick is taking out a profit of 56 cents, yeah, that's right. If he has no profit here. This is a pure insurance move. He's written calls as an insurance policy against the stock. If he had written the $200 calls for 1 or 2 or 3 weeks further out, he would have received a premium on top of the 17, right? I hope that makes sense to you guys. Just looking here at, like in October 21. I mean, next week's they were 21.50 to 21.90 for something in the money, right? If we went out to October, let's see here, to October 28, those would have brought in $24. Well, that's $7 of premium time premium on top of the book value, right? But again, if Nick is going to swing trade this, which he could also do, he might find that if Tesla drops to 210, he buys these calls back for 12, and it pops back to 218. He writes them for 18.19, and then it pops back to 210. He buys them at 11, 12 again. He might do that a few times. There's nothing stopping him from making these moves and just sitting on the stock. He'll then, score some money each time he does these rollovers to help with his reducing his cost of the stock. That's true too. Michael, yeah, I don't get it. Mike spent 217 to make 17,000. Michael, 560 gain if exercised on $217,000. Alberta, oh, okay. Makes sense. I'm on my motorcycle, so I have a tough time reading comments. I get it. Nick, well, that's exactly my plan, Uncle Bruce. Swing trade. I'm looking to swing trade this thing. And that's the point. He doesn't have to short it. He's now going to swing trade this contract instead of the stock. He's got the stock. He's going to swing trade the contracts and let the Tesla, fluctuate $10 up and down, and he'll buy back calls, rewrite, buy back calls, rewrite, right till Friday. If he can get 4 or 5 rollovers done at $5-7 a shot, he's making $5,000 to $7,000 per flip. 4 of those, 20 grand, 28 grand. There you go. You got the dough. You can play this game, of course, if that's what you really want to do. I kind of like the idea of writing a week or two further out and getting the premium on top of the book value, and then I got a cushion and I have an additional profit. But either way, he can swing trade this, no question. I have done this before, and I've made 13 grand both ways. And there you have it. There you go. Right on, buddy. Right on. Right on. Because the other thing too is that the shares go down to 205. He buys the calls back for like $6. Then the stock pops to 230 when Musk is finished selling. He sells the stock for 13 grand profit, plus the profit he made on the call. He's got the money. He's got the power. He's got the horsepower to pull this off. He has the bullets. So whatever works. Yeah. However you like it. We're down to 5 minutes. We're up 45 points on the Dow. We're running into the last of the session here. Got S&P down 25. We've got Nasdaq down 125. I got a message earlier today from someone I've not seen this person in person since I was 21 years old. We found each other about 3 or 4 years ago through the internet, the incredible thing about the internet. And we chatted on the phone, and we've sent some texts back and forth. It's a former classmate of mine from when I was in watchmaking class back in 1974, 5, and 6, or 5, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 77. You're getting old when an old classmate of yours says, "Hey, how you doing, buddy? How's it going? Just wanted to let you know our prof has passed away. Our professor, the master watchmaker that we were studying under, he passed away, but he lived until 90. Phenomenal, fantastic, and he was fixing watches right up until the last days, fixing watches and clocks all along, and lived a very long and fruitful life. And then he mentioned a few other people in our class who have passed away already. And so you're getting old when classmates are passing because of old age. But to be fair, the watchmaking classes that I took back in 1975, 76, 77, we weren't all 18 or 19. I was right out of high school and went right into college. I had classmates who were in their 30s who were doing this as a second career. They were studying this as a new career for themselves. And of course, they were 12 years older than I, or 13 years older than I. So it stands to reason that an 80-year-old might pass of old age or what have you. Makes sense. But you feel like an old geezer when you start hearing this kind of talk. I don't like this kind of talk. That, you remember so-and-so in that class? Yeah, he died. Oh, shit. I don't want to hear that. Michael, whatever floats your goat, Nick, DQ, how the heck was there more than one person in watchmaking class? Bobby, any word on how Larry is doing on the vacay? Haven't heard. Alberto, I like the premium as well. Michael, it was the 20s. Watches were wonders. Deep value, age is an issue of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. There you go. Oscar, I just got 1,000 shares of Tesla long and 4,000 shares of GameStop. I'm going long now. AZ, there we go. We're up 42, 45 on the Dow. Amazon down 149. Tesla 216.48, down 6.48. Apple is down $1.46. And GameStop is at 25.27, down 27 cents. We have 2 minutes left to go. SoFi, $5, right on the mark. $5, up 3 cents right now. That's where we're at on some of our favorites. The Dow is a little gain, had a little loss, a little gain. We're not going anywhere, kids. We have more downside than upside. And whatever upside we had didn't last. It didn't last today, did it? It came all the way back. Sputter, I bet no one wants to hear that classmates are dying from old age. Oh, no, you don't want to hear this news. 26-point gain on the Dow right now. That is where we're at the moment. GameStop up 25 cents and SoFi up 2.5, 499.5. There you are. What can I say? We're getting older. We're getting older. That's the way this game works. I just say keep right on going and doing what you love to do, and you'll be fine. It doesn't feel so much as work if you're doing what you want to be doing. Right on. What else is happening here? Alberto saying to Oscar, get that moolah. Mirko, DQ, my grandfather always said you can become old and gray, but not cheeky. Laughing out loud. Right on. Right on. Yeah, I remember my prof way back when. He was pretty smart. He knew a lot about watchmaking and clock repair, and he was a good one. I enjoyed him as a pro. I had him for 2 years and full time watchmaking. It's same instructor for the full day, 5 days a week. He was good. He was really good. Let's see here. We are just about done, Splair, and you all have a relaxed end of the day. I am tomorrow on travel mode, then Thursday probably somewhere as well. You take care, Splair. Good to see you, buddy. Boo, nice Oscar, 315 grand, just like that. Not Larry, Amsterdam, Jailbird, Titus. The bells are ringing. Thank you, DQ, for that. JR, hey, if it doesn't matter, Cheeky is the way to go. I'm 63 and I don't care. There you go. Jennifer says to me from time to time, you're sounding more and more like an old man. I look at her and I say, you know what you're sounding like? A gorgeous young woman that is just incredible. You think I'm stupid? I know what I'm doing. Yes, indeed. DQ Mirko, good thing I started cheeky. AZ, BZ. I always get confused when Uncle Bruce says BZ because I keep thinking he's saying AZ when I'm like, I didn't write anything, laughing out loud. AZBZ and YB. I don't know. Thank you all so much for being here. Happy wife, good life, sir. Yes, lay it on thick. Uncle Bruce, it pays off. Mirko, DQ, that sounds familiar. Uncle Bruce, the ultimate salesman, thick, says JR. Splair, I'm reading suddenly, right? China is liking now what he's saying about Taiwan. Thanks, Uncle B from Oscar. Alex, SoFi closed big, bang on $5. Nick, coin low today, 65. I predict we'll test that tomorrow. So I shorted 3,000 for 70.13 for tomorrow. Splair, looks for me like someone wants to drop Tesla. Where are we at? 216.50 on the Tesla, and after hours, 216.73 is where we're at. Yes, another day in paradise, kids. Welcome to the option fun zone. GameStop 25.27, up 3 cents on the aftermarket right now. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. BZ, AZ. I did the same when he said yours. Coyote, have a good one. See you all in the morning. Today went by so fast. It's a crazy, crazy day today. Another wild one. A 35-point gain for the Dow. We ended up with a high today of 29,608, ended up with 29,238. So, we were 300 and I don't know, a bunch of points higher than this. We've given this market gave some back. That is for sure. Okay. 300 and some 80 points. The Dow was, the low was 29,074. That was right at the opening, just around 10 o'clock. So that was 170 points ago. So we're in the lower third of the market today for the range. Have a good day, everybody. Interesting day today. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. Thank you, Constantine Splair. This headline, Tesla CEO Elon Musk spoke with Vladimir Putin before pitching his Ukraine peace plan on Twitter. That repeated Kremlin talking points. Political scientist says, I don't care. It doesn't matter what these guys talk about. It's a matter of what's happening on the ground. And what's happening on the ground is not pretty. That is for sure. Folks, I'm going to call it a day and say thank you again for being here, hanging out with yours truly. So appreciate it. I hope you grew your account yet again today. I know a number of you are doing well with some of these trades. Keep up the good work. Make sure to take the classes to further up your studies. Be on top of this game. There's so much more to learn. Number 14 will be coming down the road not too far from now. I'll let you know when we're ready, and we'll go from there. Good night, Uncle B from Deep Value. Thank you so much. Neat is what Deep Value Investing has to say about that. I agree. DQ digging out. Way to go, DQ. You're coming back, baby. You're coming back. Dollar after dollar after dollar after dollar. This is the name of the game, buddy. Splair, neat, Alex. We're putting up the knee emojis, Bruce. This is what's happening around here. The knee emojis are coming. And we're taking over the chat with the knee emojis. Here we go, one after the other. JR's got them. Thank you all for the knee emojis and being here and the thumbs ups. 111 thumbs ups today, guys. Thank you for 111 for the afternoon show. And thanks for hanging out and saying hi. AZ, Deep Value Investing. Look at all those knee emojis. The Knights of Knee, Untamed Viking, and Deep Value, brand new recurring members also popping them up. Kareem popping them up there. The knee emojis, you can't stop the markets when this happens. Everything works out in your favor when the knee emojis come out there. There's no stopping this. Thank you, guys. Have yourselves a great evening. We will see you tomorrow morning for the alert show for Gold Bagel members and the regular show starting at 8:30 Eastern time. Nick, thank you, buddy. All of you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay healthy for me, and we'll catch you first thing tomorrow. Let's make some more money. Alberto, take care on that motorbike. See you soon, guys. Bye for now.